What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here. We have a lot to talk about as we head into the last day of the week here after a very volatile and pretty choppy trading week that we have witnessed here. We have some interesting developments in this new saga here with the escalation between this trade war between the US and China that we absolutely need to talk about. Some very positive news that we received today. And we have a very important catalyst happening tomorrow that I don't think anybody knows is actually happening, but is one that every single one of you guys watching this video right now need to be aware is occurring tomorrow morning before the market opens. Now, as always, we're going to be covering some of your guys' favorite names here as well. Nio, Palantir, Sofi, and AMD, going over some of the most relevant pieces of news, and as always, the charts in the short term here to give you guys a better expectation of what to expect next. So, before we get into all of that information, everybody, if you guys do enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And as always, massive shout out to all of the members of my private trading and investing community. Less trades, more profits. Again, guys, after 30 10x trades that I've handed out to this group over the last 3 months here and showcasing to you guys what is actually possible if you start operating in the market the proper way. I mean, you guys saw what happened. We are doing things that the trading and investing community have literally never seen before. Like, again, Instagram took my Instagram account down, and the only thing that I was doing was showcasing the results for the trades and the trade ideas that I was handing out to the group. YouTube tried to give me a community guideline strike here. Again, we easily got that one appealed, but if all of that has not proven to you that the LTMP methodology that I teach is the proper way to be operating in the market there, guys, I don't know. I mean, there is nothing else better. I mean, I've showcased that to you guys time and time again. If there was anything else better than what we're doing in the market here, that's what we would be doing, but there isn't, so we stick with LTMP there. So if you guys do want to hop in there and join us again before the prices go up at the end of November, lock in the lower rate so that the prices never go up on you. Make sure you check out that link down below. Use code October to get 50% off your first month, and you just might be our next big success story in there. So let's get right into it, guys. The first thing that the market was rallying aggressively off of today was the White House on Trump. Asia trip meets with China's Xi on Thursday. So on that Friday, when we received this news of the escalation of this trade war between the United States and China, one of the main things that the market was reacting to is that initially we saw that President Xi and President Trump were not going to meet, and that has kind of gone back and forth really over the last week and a half here. Now we are seeing it get confirmed today, which the market is obviously taking as a positive development here. So if we can get through that kind of November 1st deadline, we can see again a positive result from this meeting between Trump and Xi here. Well, obviously the market can get back to normal here, and when we take a brief look at ES here, the S&P 500 futures here, this yellow zone that you guys see right here is the volatility zone that we rejected off of aggressively right as we were getting that announcement of the trade war escalation. Now, for those of you guys in LTMP, you know exactly how to trade these volatility zones here. This was probably the most insane one that we have ever seen here. I mean, this drop was absolutely insane, but the main point of this is I want to see us get above this area here. 6809 about on ES would really kind of be that solidifying confirmation that the buyers are back in control. We saw the sellers throughout yesterday here aggressively pushing the market lower. The buyers stepped up a little bit overnight here, but really as we were getting into market open, and we've just been ripping to the upside ever since, getting back into this range of consolidation that we were trading in from Monday all the way up into the breakdown here on Wednesday. Now, the one thing that I want everybody to be well aware of as we are going into the end of the week here is we have a very important piece of economic data getting released tomorrow, and with the government shutdown, a lot of you guys may not realize that this economic data here is going to be released tomorrow, and that is September CPI. Nearly 24 days have passed since a federal agency has published an economic report. The US government shutdown has resulted in a blackout of critical data, further clouding an already opaque economic outlook. That will change, albeit briefly, Friday morning when the Bureau of Labor Statistics is expected to release the Consumer Price Index report for September. Now, as we all know, these CPI releases and these inflation data releases in general can move move markets around pretty aggressively. The one thing I want everybody to be looking for is, again, if we do see a knee-jerk reaction out of the market here, the equity market, I want you to start paying attention to the bond market. And also the Fed funds futures, again, that's CME Fed Watch tool, in looking to see if the actual expectations for rate cuts coming in the near future are actually changing. If we start to see, let's say, for example, a drastic move in the market to the downside, but those types of expectations are not changing, well, then obviously there's not really a whole lot to be worried about there, because those big players in the bond market are not shifting their stance. But again, we are going to be live tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. Eastern time to kind of break everything down for everybody. We're going to be live throughout the market there. So if you guys want to come back in here and have that data broken down for you, and again, everything else happening in the market, make sure you guys turn on notifications for the channel here so you don't miss anything. So that's kind of it here on the broad market front. Now let's get into some of these individual names here. Again, as you guys will probably notice from some of these other videos that I've made this week, the overall weekly time frame chart here on Nio has not changed a whole lot. And again, like I say in every single video when we are talking about Nio, it is always going to come down to their ability to execute on the goals that they've outlined to shareholders over the last few years after they've been overpromising and under-delivering. A lot of you guys have probably heard me say that time and time again. But again, some of these developments that we have seen out of Nio and their management over the last few months here, and really all of 2025, have been very positive. They're taking steps in the right direction here to have a solid shot at meeting some of those goals, and that's why we're seeing the share price move up in this stair-stepping fashion the way that it is. Now, remember, I have 4,000 shares of Nio at $4.55, not a big position for me, and I'd love to see this re-rated higher. Now, I know a lot of you guys in the comments right now are going to be commenting. I feel like a lot of those are bots. Nio to 100, I keep seeing that in the comment section. Guys, if that were to happen, that'd be great. I'd have $400,000 worth of Nio. That would be pretty cool here. But again, I want everybody to make sure that they are keeping their expectations in check. If we do hit some of those targets there, I think we could easily see $15, $20 a share on Nio. But as with everything, you see it all the time, especially with what happened with Beyond this week. People love to get overexcited about some of these names, and you have to make sure you are operating from a realistic perspective and a realistic point of view. Now, some of the most relevant pieces of news on Nio that came out, I believe this was yesterday here, later on in the evening. Nio expects the ES6 SUV to hit 300,000th delivery milestone in November. This implies the ES6 is on track for average monthly deliveries of about 5,000 units in October and November, up from 2,930 units in September. So growing on their flagship brand there, which again is going to be most likely taken as a positive development from the market here. Now, moving on, I want to talk a little bit about Palantir here. Again, this is one that I was going to be very interested in taking or looking to take a short-term trade idea here, going through Palantir's earnings report, potentially trying to make a position free, having the options run up over 100%, 150%, selling half of the position, getting my initial investment back plus profits. But as we get closer and closer here to Palantir's earnings report, we still have a great weekly chart, but it's not going to make a whole lot of sense here to really try and race against the clock if Palantir does end up breaking to the upside here at 188.20 before their earnings. Now, what could end up happening is we get a nice post-earnings move on Palantir using the post-earnings strategy that I teach you guys within LTMP. So again, just so that you guys know, all of those videos, those strategies, the day trading mastery course, the Swing Kings course, the post-earnings strategy, the typical swing trading strategy that we use are all included for you guys in LTMP once you guys hop in. Remember, use code October, get 50% off your first month, and lock in the lower rate before prices go up at the end of November there. Now, just from a broad perspective, again, Palantir is one that I handed out to you guys in LTMP at the $15 range. We were talking about it on the YouTube streams here, on Twitter, in the YouTube videos, everywhere. The stock is at 180 now. Absolute monster for anybody that has been in this one from the very beginning. It is not one that you go out in the open market right now and buy, but it is definitely not one that I think is the best idea to go out into the open market and short, because at the end of the day, Palantir, Alex Karp, all of the management there are doing everything they need to be doing to grow the commercial revenue side and the government and commercial revenue side. And they're kind of just letting the market give Palantir the valuation that it wants to, albeit it is very stretched. And I do think that there is the potential for the market to start to hold Palantir to a higher standard here over the next couple of years, but that's not really going to happen anytime soon, especially with the market that we are in really focusing in on these developments in AI and use cases of a lot of these artificial intelligence platforms there. Now, we also have a little bit of an update here too. Lumen and Palantir team up to accelerate enterprise AI adoption. Yet another partnership here that Palantir is going to use to generate more revenues here. Now, I want to talk briefly about SoFi before we get into the last ticker that I want to talk about with you guys today. Very, very similar to Palantir here, guys. The same weekly setup that we've been looking at for a while, and very similarly to Palantir. This is not necessarily one that I want to be looking to take any short-term positions on going into their earnings here. Again, it's getting a little bit too close. If we had about an extra month here to let this move play out, then I would be a little bit more interested in taking that upside move on this break here at 29.80. But since we're getting too close to their earnings report here, this is going to be one that I'm just going to stay away from on a short-term perspective. Now, I don't have any plans on doing anything with my SoFi position anytime soon. Again, this is one, I keep saying this. I mean, guys, after 30 10x trades that I've handed out in the last 3 months here, after all of these epic names that I've handed out for you guys, Palantir in the teens, SoFi at 655, Nio at 455, Philip Morris at 95. I mean, what else here? Robinhood in the teens. I think I said that one. Philip Morris at 95. I think I've said a couple of them here. There are so many of these made the long-term investment idea guys that have absolutely gone nuts. Yin at 20. I mean, they're just countless, guys. Again, pay attention or pay a premium. That is one of my favorite sayings here. Again, SoFi, I was getting asked a lot of questions about this. And this is something that we're going to be talking a lot about in the mastermind that opens for enrollment tomorrow. There's always a time and a place to be taking action in the market. And those times are typically few and far between. The last time that it really made sense to be initiating long positions in SoFi was at that $13.60 weekly breakout there that I outlined for you guys on Twitter and also on these YouTube videos here. Congratulations to all of you guys that were listening to this. The stock is now at $28.50 at the current time that I'm recording this, more than doubling. Absolutely insane. Congratulations, everybody. But for those of you guys that got the 655 entry, extra good work on you. You guys are sitting up massively on this name here. Again, not planning on doing anything with SoFi in the near future here with this position. Just going to let the thesis play out here. But one of the most interesting things that I do see on SoFi right now is they are doing something that not a lot of these other big tech companies are doing. West Coast FinTech expanding to South Charlotte and creating 225 jobs here. And when you just search layoffs on Google here, you have Rivian to lay off more than 600 workers. You have Facebook cutting 600 jobs at AI Superintelligence Labs. You have a lot of these large corporations laying off employees here. And the fact that SoFi in this market environment is still looking to grow, not only their business, but also their workforce here, to me, that's a very solid sign that they are in a really strong financial position and ready to take full advantage of the marketplace and the overall market that they are currently in and continue growing, which in this spot in macroeconomic conditions that we are seeing out here right now, that is a very strong sign. So last one that I want to talk about with you guys in this video here is AMD. Now, again, I own a bunch of shares of this at $11.35. If you go look back on the chart, guys, you can probably get a good understanding of how long I've been operating in the market for here. I mean, I know I look young. I'm 26. I'm going to be 27 in, well, actually a couple months here. Probably at the end of May, I'll be turning 27. But I've been operating the market, guys, for a long time. I've been doing this since I was young, and I love this stuff. I love helping you guys all the time, especially in LTMP, seeing your guys' growth over this period of time here that you guys are in, and it really doesn't take that long for you guys to really start going in a positive direction there. So, but AMD right now is an interesting one, especially after the new partnership that they have with OpenAI here. They are starting to get a decent setup on the daily time frame here. It is very, very positive that after that big move to the upside that AMD saw, after the announcement of that partnership, which, just to tell you guys too, a lot of the LTMP members were in call positions before this massive move happened here. That's where it's probably at the beginning of this video here, those 26,000% gains ended up coming from here. So again, after that, it is very positive to see AMD holding at these elevated levels here and looking to make a push higher into that $300 area. Now, what is most likely going to set that off is more big partnerships, but also earnings. If AMD is able to knock it out of the park on earnings in the beginning of November, that could start a massive move to the upside here and a nice continuation up above 300 for AMD. Now, obviously, that is a pretty aggressive area for AMD to get up to in the short term here, and the overall market is obviously going to need to hold on and not do anything crazy in order for that type of action to occur on AMD here. We're going to need to see these trade talks between the US and China go well, earnings season, as we get deeper into it, continue to go well, and specifically AMD's earnings do very, very well as well. So guys, that is going to wrap up this video here. If you guys did enjoy the information and analysis that I provided for you guys in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And again, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you guys are and turn on notifications so you're notified every time these videos go live. But until next time, guys, I will see you. Peace.